Welcome to Racing to Win, the show where we preview Hong Kong racing twice a week, and we have Sha Tin coming up on this Saturday afternoon with a 10-race program. Group 3 feature being the National Day Cup highlights the card. Joined in the studio today by Paul Lully and Tom Wood. And Tom, the Group 3 features a good race, not big on numbers, but the support card is very good also.
Yeah, there's a lot to look forward to, Mark, right through the course of the day at Sha Tin on Saturday afternoon. Interesting race, the feature, of course, at handicap conditions. So Skyfield has to carry top weight to the Group 1 winner, stronger in the race as well. But Cordyceps 6, he was very good at the back end of last season. What he's won now, 6 of his 12 starts. And Alexi Bedell might have a few interesting decisions to make.
Absolutely. Last year's winner, Super Wealthy, lines up also in that race, Paul, and there's a jackpot as well.
Yeah, there's a good jackpot actually. 4.3 million going into the 6-up win bonus. So that should get up to about 9 million. As the team have said, there's some really good support races throughout the card and a couple of really interesting first starters, 2 in particular for me.
There is indeed, including Naboo Legend, who lines up for David Hayes for the first time. Now, we do have a scratching, which is in race number 3. Horse number 1, Good Runner, has come out and been replaced by Soaring Tower for Chris. So Derek Lung takes the ride on Good Runner. We now check out the details for this meeting at Sha Tin. It is meeting 7 of the season, all races on the turf, and we're on the C+3 course. 1 o'clock the first, and the 2 races we're previewing here on Racing to Win. Race 6, the Shanghai Handicap, the Group 3 over the 1200 metres, or the Class 3 over the 1200. The Group 3 over the 1000 is the National Day Cup. Starters list for race number 6 is as follows. We've got Power Kep at the top of the book. He carries the top weight again. Naboo Legend was scribed when trained in New Zealand by Tony Pike. He won over the 1100 and 1200 metres. Lucky 8 carries an extra £2 on his win on the 16th of July. Midori Beauty's had 2 trials to prepare. Sparkling Night is up from the 1000 to the 1200 metres. We've got California Veins coming into Class 3 for the first time, and Happy Sharing carries an extra £9 for a senior rider. Speed map could be very interesting here because, Tom, there is a lot of pace in the race, and thus the speed map man has gone good to fast.
He has. Sparkling Night, he's one of those horses that likes to go forward. He's first up for pretty much a year, and he's coming into this with Victor Wong riding. California Veins, another apprentice on board there, Paul, with Angus Chung taking £10 off. But Naboo Legend, he's got some pace. Mr Majestic was handy on debut. Where does Lucky 8 end up? Because he has led as well when winning.
One of these horses is going to get spit out. It's just which one it is. California Veins drawn 10, Lucky 8 drawn 9, but California Veins has already had that run this season and has got the £10 claim as well, so it could be a little bit tricky for Lucky 8. Matthew will really have to be on his medal early. Mr Majestic, Lowell's not going to make it easy. He's going to kick up. Naboo Legend has shown a lot of pace as well. I think it's going to set it up for something at the back there.
All right, so that's the speed map. We can break down a little more now the thoughts of Matthew Poon. He rides Lucky 8, and this is what he told Nick at Trackwork this morning.
Matthew, Lucky 8 is a horse you're going to ride on Saturday. I guess he's well named because you're in the right place at the right time, and you're the lucky jockey that's picked up the ride. You must be excited to ride him.
Yes, I think everyone would like to take this ride because he ran very well last 2 starts. 2 wins, so very lucky I can pick up that ride, and thank you, Vicky Yu, Mr. Yu, give me that nice ride. Yeah.
And what of his recent trial, Matthew? Talk me through that, because he looked very good in the trial.
The trial quite easy. He jumped well, and I think he traveled nice all the way, and I feel good. Yeah.
And have the stable, have they been happy with his progress over the off-season? Do they feel that he's improved?
I don't know, because that's my first time on him. I trial him. I feel like he do everything right, and he so great gate speed. That helps because he can get a nice position if he jump well. So I don't know him too much yet, but I think he's easy ride, not hard to handle, but the draw a little bit tricky. Even small field, I draw a little bit wide, so I just hope he jump very well and can get a nice position.
There's quite a bit of speed in the race too, isn't there? And I mean, from 9, as you say, do you feel that on the field that the horse has given you, is he got that tactical early speed to get into a good position?
Hard to. He jumped very fast. He's got very good gate speed, but that race also have two or three like speed horses in there, so it's hard to tell I can get a position or not. But I hope he first start one and he fresh and trial well, and hope he can get a good position earlier.
There he is, the train on a very rainy morning out at the Sha Tin trials. Paul, you've already mentioned the speed map. He's going to have to rely on plenty of luck.
He is, and I think the big key for this whole race is going to be the first 150, 200 metres, because that's when they're going to get in themselves into positions. You've got an apprentice who's on a speed horse. You've got an experienced rider as well on the inside there on another speed horse who leads over 1,000. So if those two both get into a speed battle, then it's going to be tricky.
And he's got really lightweight, just California Veins. Might be slightly questionable, the form coming out of the race. He won on the all-weather, but 109 pounds on his back. He's going to be able to go lickety-split in those early stages to get across.
That is Lucky 8. We move on to a few of the others. Tom, this is Midori Beauty. He had the 2 starts in Hong Kong. He's had the 2 trials, and this is his trial win over Intrepid Winner.
His debut run was a disaster, and then he backed that up with a good solid second on a rain-affected track, but got to the outside and was run down, but liked the way he trialled here. He did get a little headstrong in the mid-stages of this trial, but quickened away really nicely.
Yeah, and look, with this pace and this anticipated pace in this race, I think he can settle a little bit better. He's going to settle sort of back in midfield, and I think he could get the race run to suit.
So that is Midori Beauty. What about the debut of Mr Majestic Paul? He runs 3rd in this race, and Power Cap, who likes to get back, and he should be suited by the tempo.
Yeah, definitely. He's definitely going to go in Power Cap because he's been going really well, and as you say, he's going to be really suited. It was a good run from Mr Majestic as well. Look, it's a good field, this. He's found a tough one second up, Mr Majestic. He goes in, but no, he doesn't quite go in. He was right on the cusp for me.
Yeah, he was right on the cusp as well, and sometimes you see second up, if you subscribe to the second up syndrome theory, that might get him here, but there's a lot of pressure up front and he'll be in the pointy end of things early.
Here is the all-weather race, Tom, for California Veins. This was Class 4. He's drawn out in barrier number 10. Much harder field that he's going to have to do it if he wants to repeat.
Yeah, this wasn't a strong field at all on the all-weather, and he did recover well after stumbling at the start, and he looked like he was probably going to be beaten here, and he had to take a bit of riding by Zach Purton, but this is much stronger. I don't know about the format of this race either, Paul.
Yeah, I agree. He does get the claim, which is going to help him, but look, I'm sure Tony Cruz has advice to him at the start, or instructions at the start, will be just pin your ears back and go for it.
It was quite a shock to see this horse, Paul, Happy Sharing, come up at 2 to 1. He actually ran up to the price, but he carries an extra £9 for a senior rider.
He had a really light weight on a wet track, and I think that was the reason. He's another one that's got a bit of pace in the race. As well. He comes in with 119 here, as you say, so he's got that extra 9 to carry. Again, he didn't quite make it in.
He might have even hit the front momentarily before Satanta got him late, but there was a lot of support for him last time out, but he misses out here.
Oh, it is a really good race, this one. It precedes the feature race, which is the Group 3, and we're not finished yet because we need to see Naboo Legend, because his trial form has been excellent. Raced as scribe for Tony Pike when he was in New Zealand.
He certainly did, and he won 2 races at New Plymouth and to Rapa. He beat a horse in his debut run called Charmander, who's actually here with Jamie Richards and on the bubble. So the form is all right there, and he looked to trial up quite nicely. Travelled strongly and squeezed through that gap in his last start performance, and we haven't minded the trials, Paul, from him, and we can see this race here where he was behind the speed, travelled really well, and really took the gap strongly the last bit. Yeah,
and look, he's got all this raw talent. He looked a little bit green in this race as well, but once he got that gap, he really poked through. So it took him a while to get the gap, but the horse on the bubbles, which is the one with those what are they called, cheek pieces there. He's a very good horse, very classy horse in New Zealand. So it was a strong win. He's only had the 2 starts, and he's had 5 trials to get him ready. So he looks ready to go.
Where does he slot into your top 4?
He slots in second, actually. I'm going to go with Midori Beauty, just with those races here in Hong Kong under his belt, and did trial really nicely. So he's on top from Naboo Legend. Power Cop should get the race run to suit. He'll be back, and Lucky 8 will need luck. 5, 2, 1 and 4.
Yeah, I think it's going to really nicely set up this race for Midori Beauty with all the speed in it to come from back in the field. Hopefully he can settle with all the pace. He should be able to, and the trials leading into Saturday have looked good. So Midori Beauty, Naboo Legend goes in. Lucky 8, it's just a matter of where he ends up in the run. Hopefully he can try and slot in somewhere and maybe get some cover if Matthew Poon can squeeze him in from 9, and Power Kep makes it in as well. Should be good enough speed for him to come from the back. So 5, 2, 4 and 1.
There it is, the preview for a quality Class 3 race number 6. We'll take a break here on Racing to Win, back to have a look at the Group 3 National Day Cup right after this. Welcome back to Racing to Win. It's time to preview now the feature race at Sha Tin on Saturday afternoon. It's a Group 3 1,000 metre, the National Day Cup. Skyfield, the hood comes off. Stronger race as well. First up, Lucky Patch comes back from the 1,200 to the 1,000 metres. Super Wealthy won it last year. And we've got Master 8 and Cordyceps 6 here, Tom, both coming off trials. Master 8 2 and Cordyceps has had the 1. That's Cordyceps 6. And Small Field, who leads?
Yeah, well, there might not be a lot of pace in this race. It might not be as quick as it can be or could be with a fuller field. So Harmony and Rich likes to go forward, Paul, and Master 8, but Harmony and Rich should clearly lead this.
Yeah, he looks like the one he's going to lead as well. Lucky Patch, he's only had the 1 start over 1,000. Cordyceps 6 normally settles midfield or worse. Stronger, Super Wealthy and Skyfield, they all get back.
So that's the speed map with Harmony and Rich leading against the outside rail. Previous winners, we've got last year's winner in this race, Tom, with Super Wealthy. Computer Patch also 2 years ago, but there we go back to 2017. Yeah,
it's been a race that sort of changed over the years. It was over 1,400 metres at one point, I think, this race, and had horses like Fairy King Prawn winning it. So it has been a race that's changed, Paul, but been a good race.
Yeah, it's been a really good race, and Super Wealthy won it really nicely last season, as we could see from that. He didn't go on and win again, but he was placed in numerous races.
The horse that ran second to him last year was Skyfield. Casper Found saddles him up under the 135 pounds, and here's Nick and Casper.
Casper, Skyfield, one of your stable stars, lining up this Saturday afternoon in the National Day Cup. Coming back to 1,000 metres, how is he?
He's really well. He ran extremely well in this race last season, and you know, he'll be doing the same. He'll be working home. Obviously, there's handicap events when you're carrying 135, and you've got some really nice young horses in there. Like Gibson's horse, I would say, would be the favourite in the race. Looks to be the one that's going to keep progressing. But my guy's in great form, mate. He'll run his race, and you know, once he gets to set weights, he'll be better suited.
Just on those last couple of runs, I mean, they've looked like very tough asks for him, haven't they? I mean, he's had to do it very tough with the big weight.
Yeah, he's done extremely well in the summer, so I just think he needs a little bit of racing to really strip and fit this campaign. And you know, I think that's going to be beneficial for him leading into the big races.
Talk to me about the hood. He's worn that his last couple of runs. That comes off this time around.
Yeah, we just felt last season that he was getting a little bit quirky, and Blake said, look, it might be nice to try a hood on him. And we've done that, but now it's just off. He's game on now.
Do you feel he can enhance that good second up record? It reads quite impressively.
Yeah, he is. He's pretty good, but like I said, you know, with the weight, it's always hard to sprint hard the last part of a race.
And you've got Luke Curry riding, of course, obviously a man with great experience and the type of jockey that you probably want on a horse like Skyfield.
Totally agree. I think he'll suit the horse, and look, he's a pretty straightforward horse down, you know, especially coming down that track. You know, the speed will be on, and we'll be back, and we'll be working home.
Just on another one of your, well, hopefully potential stable stars, one that's already made a bit of a name for himself. We saw him trial this morning, Galaxy Witness. He rounded them up very impressively. Casper, you must have been pleased.
Yeah, he's summered really nicely. You know, he's a big horse, and we've got high hopes for him this season. You know, starting off on a rating of 81. He starts his first run next weekend in a 1,400, and Chadwick will ride him. So it'll be interesting to see what he's like. When we stepped him up to the mile last season, he looked like he was going to win at the 200, and he just sort of, they got away from him the last part. It might have been a case of he'd had enough for the season as well. So the freshen up's done him a world of good, and let's see how we go. I'm sure he'll be very competitive in this grade.
And he's 4-year-old series all over, is that the plan?
That's the plan, absolutely, yeah.
And just finally, one other horse I'd like to ask you about who's done a really good job for you is Winning Icy. That was great to see him win another one on Wednesday night.
Yeah, he's a little surprise package, you know. He's not that big, but he's all heart. And it's lovely to get horses like that just keep improving, you know. So we just hope we can continue with him. They didn't miss him in the ratings. They keep hiking him up, but you know, hopefully we'll stay ahead of the old handicapping department.
We'll keep moving because we've got a bit to get through. We're going to see Skyfield 2 in this replay coming up as well. So we've got the Paul's favourite here, Tom, the split screen. Now we'll start with Super Wealthy, who's there in the pink and red colours. We've got Harmony and Rich crossing to lead, which may happen again on the weekend, and Skyfield and Lucky Patch, they're both further back in the field. What are we watching out for in this head-on?
A lot of interference, which in the end was mainly caused by the winner, Lucky Swayness, and poor old Super Wealthy. He copped the worst of it as they went into that first turn there as Lucky Swayness came across Keep You Warm, Trillion Winner, and then Super Wealthy was very lucky to stay up. But also inconvenience there, Paul, was Skyfield. So Super Wealthy, the way he got knocked over there, did a fantastic job to pick himself up again.
He did, didn't he? And look, down the straight 1,000, he shouldn't have these problems, you know, with sort of going around the bend. So, look, he won the race last year. I think he's one of the main chances leading into this race as well. Skyfield, as Casper just said, once he gets to the set weights, we're going to see the best of him. He's fortunately under the handicap situation. He's got to carry 135 and give away a lot of weight to horses like Cordyceps 6.
He was another one in this race as well, Skyfield, that copped some of that interference, not as certainly to the extent that Super Wealthy did, and you can see wasn't really knocked around too badly at the final stages there in the Chief Executives Cup, but big run, Super Wealthy.
Yeah, it was indeed. Now we go back to the race last year, Tom. There's the graphic of what the top four did. That replay was in the Casper interview, and you've done some stats on what they went on to do after that.
Yeah, well, Super Wealthy didn't win again, but he placed numerous occasions. Of course, a couple of Group 1 winners have come through that race, Skyfield and Stronger. And Lucky Patch, he was the informed horse going towards International Day, Paul. Yeah,
he definitely was, and obviously he had that fall, but he was, I think he was favourite, wasn't he? And then Stronger's a Group 1 winner as well.
We go back to last season. This is Cordyceps 6, a win on the 22nd of May. He's also up against a Lucky Patch in this race and Skyfield as well, Paul, but he's just done a great job, Cordyceps 6.
He's the new kid on the block, isn't he? He's the up-and-comer. He's a 4-year-old by Star Turner's Cordyceps 6. He's drawn the outside, but look, drawn barrier 1, so it's the inside down the straight, but in the small field, he should get himself into a nice position. He'll definitely get his chance.
Had a really strong turn of foot the last 150 to a run-down Nervous Witness did to Cordyceps 6. He's up 26 pounds in body weight, and he was very strong there at the line.
He's had the one trial, Tom, and it was at Happy Valley, so something a little different from Richard Gibson. I guess there is a negative. There is a negative for Cordyceps 6. It's his first up record is where he has failed a couple of times, about the only times he's failed.
He has. That's a fair comment there, Mark, with Cordyceps 6. But I quite like the trial here as well. The way he was finding the line over the concluding stages here. Of course, the horse in the blue and gold, Paul, is fantastic treasure. So the trial form stacked up there.
Yeah, and look, you can see him coming off heels there as well. And look, the horse is, as we see, he's only a 4-year-old. He's only had the 12 starts, and he just really gets well suited here under handicap conditions.
We move on from his report card. Here's the trial, Tom, of Stronger. This is on the all-weather. There wasn't a whole lot in this trial as far as opposition goes, being a Group 1 winner that he is, but he does win it well.
He does come from the back. He covered some ground in this trial, but you can see him really hitting the line strongly out wider. He's still a full horse. This 6-year-old ran 4th in it last year. I just wonder, Paul, he's up 36 pounds in body weight, 1160, the heaviest he's ever been in his career. Yeah,
and look, he has to carry the weight as well, 135 pounds. So, look, he's a class horse. He's a Group 1 winner. He goes in on a very minor line for me, but again, it's not suited by the handicap conditions.
Vincent Ho, Douglas White, the combination with him. And finally, Paul Master 8. He's unbeaten over the 1,000 metres at Sha Tin. He's had the 2 barrier trials, and what did you make of them? Yeah,
look, they've been okay without getting carried away. The thing with him is he's got a really good fresh record, Master 8, and he is unbeaten down the straight 1,000. So this is on a weather. He's now going back to turf. He was pushed out a little bit, but he'll come on for this trial.
And he might have come to the end of it last prep. He was on that really wet track behind Duke Wide. Didn't seem to be enjoying that. He was pushed out before the home turn. And nothing wrong with the trial, I thought, there along the fence with Matthew Chadwick. So I think he needs to be kept safe, especially back down the straight.
So that is Master 8 out of the Frankie Law stable. Who's going to win the feature, Paul?
Got to go with the up-and-coming horse, Cordyceps 6. He's just so well in at the handicap conditions. 123 is all he has to carry. Super Wealthy last year's winner, another one who's got a really good record down this straight 1,000, as has Master 8, and the Group 1 winner Stronger. And that's leaving out Skyfield, 6, 4, 5 and 2.
Very similar numbers. Went with the 6 as well. The Cordyceps 6 here for Alexia Bedell and Richard Gibson. Like the trial, Super Wealthy goes in, has to be respected the way it ran on last start after being knocked over. Master 8 back down the straight. And Lucky Patch goes in. He was third in this race last year. He also got a bit of a minor check in that incident in the Chief Executive Cup, but stayed on. So 6, 4, 5 and 3.
There it is, the preview for our feature race at Sha Tin on Saturday afternoon. We've previewed races 6 and 7 here on Racing to Win, Paul, which means there's another 8 winners for you to find.
There is. Look, the undercard's so good, as we said. I thought Charisma was impressive winning last time. The David Hall stable can put them together in a row, so I wouldn't be surprised if he came out and won again. Noble One was a little bit wayward when he first raced at Happy Valley. Sort of found his niche now back at Sha Tin. I think he can win. One Voice was very impressive on only his one run. He did bleed after that, but his trials have been good, and he's a big horse. He's over 1,200 pounds. Perfect Peach comes to Sha Tin. I think we'll see a better run from him here. Kazi Farazi, such a well-rated horse of Dennis Yepes. I think he can sort of perform as well at some good value. Also, Oriental Smoke was impressive last time, as was Mr. Ascendancy. And the other one, Tempest Express in the last, he ran second, just beaten at some big odds last time.
All right, so you can find a breakdown of all of those races on the website, hkjc.com. Go to audio and video. It's the time, it's the best, it's the long shot, it's the play.
I like One Voice. I just think this horse has done really well. He's only had the one start. He ran second. He's a big, strong horse. He was an expensive yearling as well, and I think he can come out and win. Kazi Farazi is one off 10 rating points higher before, and he's hit one second up in the past, so he goes in as the long shot. And the play will do in race 8, Oriental Smoke, Super Fortune, and Saquin QQP.
Best comes up in one of the races we've previewed here on the show. Race 6, number 5, Midori Beauty. First up here for Chris Owen, Zach Purton. Good trial leading into this. Put it all together. It was run down by one better last start. Snow a lot. First up for David Hayes, formerly with Paul O'Sullivan. Race 3, number 10, Luke Curry riding there. Didn't mind his trial leading into this. And my mate Money Catcher with Mr. Ascendancy and Charity Grace, the play in race 9.
We'll go for race 2. First starter for Casper Founds. Big Me, Luke Curry takes the ride. He's had 6 trials. His last 2, he's beaten Nordic Dragon, leading all of the way. His other trial, 2 back, he ran second behind Victor the Winner, beaten a neck. Run down late. We know what Victor the Winner did on debut. So we Joy saw his trial during the show. Michael Cheng, Vincent Ho combined, switches onto the turf, which he has won on before. And the play, race 2, Cheval Valiant, Noble 1, and that first starter, Big Me, 2, 4 and 5. So that's been Racing to Win for a good card on Saturday afternoon. We've got 9 at Happy Valley next Wednesday night.
We do. We've got more Class 5 action for you in the main races. A Class 3 over 1,000, 12, 1650. Jamie Richards with his first runners.
Yeah, he's got 3, I think, that should get a start. So look forward to seeing how he goes.
We'll preview that on Tuesday, but we'll see you at Sha Tin for the first at 1 o'clock on Saturday.